How did your journey or your realization start?
With the total destruction of the landscape within 3 hours. And then the realisation that there had been this human crisis, such as the Depression, which was known as the Great Depression. And then the people that sort of came out of the Depression were into a First World War, then a Second World War. And of course, then we had this landscape affected by the extreme impacts that we'd imposed on it in the last 100 odd years. And then it wiped itself out completely, you know, and we were committed to an underground room we had at the station. And we were sent down there at 11 o'clock when it was just a hot day, a bit like this. But we'd had 6 weeks of hot weather, really hot weather. And my mother had complained 3 years earlier, before I was born, that the temperature hadn't gone under 35 degrees for 30 days when she was in a later stage of pregnancy. So she used to complain what a bloody pest I was. She was under these, I'm never going to have another child in the summer, she'd Anyway, those simple things sort of started to register with me, and then we went out, you know, when I was nearly 5, and we'd had the drought running, and there was a sheep buried in sand, and I had nearly suffocated in one of these dust storms, and it was still breathing. So it would breathe out, and then the fines would go down like water going down the bathtub. That image would never leave me, you know, particularly after the stress of nearly suffocating in the bloody dust, you know, right, because all your nose and your sinus dries out, and you feel you can't breathe. And so, yeah, that really said to me, and it never leaves, we can't let this happen again. This is ridiculous. But it obviously has happened so many times in the past as to be even more ridiculous, you see. And so I've spent my time, and every day I would sort of say, you are mad, why do you keep trying to understand all of this rubbish, you know? And I guess the more and more I understood, the less and less I realised I knew, and the more and more we had to be more humble and realise that there was an opportunity because this landscape had produced it. And somehow I had to understand how we could reproduce it with our modern knowledge. So that's why I'm doing it.
Great.